kind of like a bear, or you know, like I have paws. I can't quite explain it. But I'll just do the best I can. One of the problems that I think everybody who writes songs, I never called myself a songwriter, but I write songs. And one of the problems you have if you're touring a lot, and I toured a lot, is that after a while that's the only thing you know. And you start writing these songs, "Oh babe, it's so lonesome out here on the road, won't you come back to the motel and make it better?" There are a whole lot of those. The weirdest thing is coming home when you've been on the road for a long time, and you guys will experience this. The Greek word for it is anomy, which is when familiar things look strange. And the closest I was able to get ever in describing how it feels is I told someone that I felt like Rip Van Winkle. And I was raised in Tarrytown, New York, right next to Irvington, where Washington Irving, I don't know if you know the story real well. The only thing he thought he recognized was his dog Wolf, and it was actually Wolf's son. He slept for 40 years because Henry Hudson's crew were these little guys. But there were some things in this story that were really interesting. He always complained in the story of Rip Van Winkle that his wife was a shrew. It was also noted that he never worked on his own farm, and his children were in rags. He always helped his neighbors, never worked on his own farm. And the other thing I noticed, because I went back to reread all this, was that they didn't get him drunk. He snuck the liquor when nobody was looking. And you know, nobody ever held a gun to my head and said I had to tour either. So it all seemed to work for me. Where are the men that I used to sport with? And what has become of my beautiful town? Wolf, my old friend, even you don't know me. This must be the end. My house is tumbled down. My land was rich, but I wouldn't work it. I guess I made a shrew of my wife. My duty clear, I could always find some way to shirk it. I dreamed away the best years of my life. It seemed like only this morning I went up into the mountains. No word of warning, just her usual curse. I hated the house with all her nagging and shouting. But to be in this strange world is 1,000 times worse. Where are the men that I used to sport with? And what has become of my beautiful town? Oh, Wolf, my old friend, even you don't know me. This must be the end. My house has tumbled down. You know, that little man called me by name, and he bought me that cheaply. He called me by name, I didn't know what to think. I watched their loud game, and oh, I drank deeply. But no one had ever offered me a drink, and you know that stolen liquor, oh, it was sweeter than whiskey, and many times quicker to put me to sleep. But drinking with strangers can get very risky. My sleep, it was long, it was 40 years deep. Where are the men that I used to sport with? What has become of my beautiful town? Both my old friends, even you don't know me. This must be the end. My house has tumbled down. I've sung this in Tarrytown, where I was raised, and the people there kind of thought it was about Tarrytown. Of course it isn't. It's about being on the road. I've never felt that way about a town, but the past decade, I've kind of felt it about my country. This whole thing of torture, spying I can understand, but some of that stuff, that's not what I was taught in school. Where are the men that I used to sport with? And what has become of my beautiful town? Both my old friends, even you don't know me. This must be the end. My house has tumbled down.